Yo guys, what is up? It's Alex, your black guy here, and personally, I read at like a 4th grade level, so I don't really like reading the patch notes, and some of the reviews people upload can be extremely long. So in this video, we are going to go over the SMITE 9.6 patch notes in 7 minutes. This will not be an in-depth review, and will instead be more of a general overview of it. If you want to review the notes more in depth, then I would recommend actually reading the patch notes, or just finding another YouTube video that goes more in depth with them. Without further ado, let's get started. So the very first part of the patch notes consists of the new god Lancelot and his abilities, so that's what we're going to go over first. Lancelot is a physical stance switching assassin. He has a ground stance where he's just walking on the ground, and he has a horse stance where he is riding his horse. We're going to start with his third ability. You'll see why later, but this is because this is his stance switch. So when Lancelot is on the ground, his third ability will just let him mount his horse. It's also worth noting that while Lancelot is on his horse, he will gradually gain a health shield, and if this health shield is depleted to 0, then he will instantly dismount. When he is on his horse, his third ability will just self-root him, but he will basically be able to pivot and change directions a lot easier. Lancelot's passive gives him stacks for god kills and assists, as well as minion kills. When he is on his horse, these stacks provide movement speed, and when he is not on his horse, he receives reduced basic attack damage when he's hit in the front. So if he's hit in the side or the back, then he doesn't get any basic attack damage reduction. When he is on the ground, his first ability is similar to Achilles 3, where he dashes forward and deals damage, and if he hits the enemy, he can dash forward and deal damage again. When he is on his horse, his first ability will dismount him, and he will just kind of yeet the horse forward, which will do damage and slow. Lancelot's second ability is a 2-part ability. He will slam his shield forward, which does damage and knocks up enemies, and then he will immediately swipe his lance for more damage. His second ability, while on his horse, causes him to dismount his horse. He jumps in the air, and if he is near an enemy when he jumps in the air, they will be rooted, and if he lands next to an enemy, Lancelot will deal damage to them. His ultimate ability is the exact same whether he is on his horse or not. He basically creates a very large cripple field and then charges forward on his horse, which does damage to enemies he hits. He can also control the horse while using this ability. So now moving on to what skins will be released in 9.6. Lancelot will receive some skins. Pride of Avalon Lancelot, Ascended Lancelot, and then obviously the mastery skins that go with him. Twitch streamer Mizkif is getting his own Thanatos skin. Big fan of the Peepos. AMC is getting a Dark Angel Amuzin Cobb skin. Cerberus is getting a Boner Shaker Cerberus skin. Daji is getting an Oblivion Temptress skin. Medusi is getting Gazing Archon. King Arthur is getting Code Slasher. Mommy LaFay is getting Summer Eclipse. Another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle skin is coming for Kuzenbo / Kuzenbo. And my personal favorite, Jing Chen is getting a burger skin called Burger Time Jing Chen. I'm assuming they couldn't go with Burger Jing or Burger King for legal reasons. In the bonus update, we are getting OTG or One True God Athena, Bok Bok Horus, what the fuck dude, Combo Breaker Terra, and finally Hardwired Heimdallr. Moving on to quality of life, there's a lot here, but I picked out 2 things that I thought were pretty significant. The first one being improvements to auto build and recommended items. They've been pretty dog shit for a while, so I'm hoping this will help. And finally, there is a new way to mute people. There will be a separate option for fully muting somebody, as well as muting somebody except for VGS. So if someone's being toxic but also making callouts, such as enemy missing right, enemy missing left, etc., then you can mute the toxicity, the custom messages they send, but still see the VGS options. Moving on to bug fixes, I usually skim over these unless there's something significant. I really didn't see any major bugs that they fixed or anything worth talking about, except for this general gameplay. Persistent CC will now reapply if cleansed and the god remains in the area. So essentially what this means is, let's say that an enemy Hebo throws his carpet down. When you are on top of this carpet, you are slowed. If you use purification beads, you are going to cleanse this slow, so you will walk around at normal speed. In the current patch, in current live game, if your beads wears off and you are still on the carpet, you will continue walking at normal speed. In this 9.6 update, that will no longer happen, and the slow from Hebo 2 will be reapplied. And this will happen with all persistent CC effects, so Knock Silence, On Her, Pillar Slow, etc. Moving on to gameplay changes, Trebuchet's got a buff. Trebuchet's got extra HP, increased movement speed, and faster attack speed. The chalices you pick up also got buffed. You can pick them up quicker when the spirit minion is destroyed. It also now restores mana and gives you movement speed for a short time. And finally, towers were buffed. Tier 1 towers got more penetration but less power. Tier 2 towers got more penetration and more power. And Phoenixes also got more penetration and more power. Moving on to item changes, there weren't that many item changes, so I'm just going to go through each one individually. Morningstar lost 3 power. The cost of Golden Blade was increased by 150. Devourer's Gauntlets got an extra 5% lifesteal. Sands of Time got an additional perk to its passive, so it is not replacing it. This is in addition to the current passive, where abilities now do a small amount of true damage to minions in jungle camps. In a similar vein, Conduit Gem now also deals additional true damage per stack against minions in jungle camps. A couple things were changed about the Mace tree. Both Heavy Mace and Warrior's Bane got a small power increase. The Crusher got additional scaling and Titan's Bane got additional power. Moving on to the gods. Again, there really weren't that many. There were only 8 gods that got changed, so I'm just going to go through each one individually. Umoja's CC got nerfed on both her third ability and her ultimate ability. Baron Samedi was also nerfed, where the healing on his second ability was reduced. Jingwei's second ability was also nerfed with a decrease in physical power scaling. Ratatoskr got a buff, which is great for me, I love Rat. His third ability has a decrease in cooldown, and his ultimate ability has increased physical scaling. Moving on to Ravana. The shield from his passive will now be bigger, and both his first and third ability got additional power scaling. Odin's third ability has increased damage on both the pulse and the fucking when he throws a spear, that thing. Freya's second ability got a damage increase. And finally, Yu Huang received some buffs. His second ability has decreased cooldown, and his ultimate ability decreased the time it passively takes to gain Dao. Thank you guys for watching. This is my first time doing this kind of video, so if you have any feedback, whether it's positive or negative, if you hated the video, just please tell me. I want to do this for every single patch except for bonus updates, because those are usually fairly small and come after the updates anyway. So yeah, if you have any feedback whatsoever, something I can improve upon, something I did that I shouldn't be doing, or just anything in general, please let me know. Again, the first time I'm doing this, there's bound to be mistakes. It's bound to not be perfect, so any feedback at all, please tell me. But other than that, my Twitter and Twitch is in the description of this video. I am very active on Twitter, and I also stream 5 times a week. So yeah, go follow me on those. But other than that, thank you guys for watching.